Welcome to 5-Minute Papers on AI for the Planet. I'm Grace Lindsay. Our paper today is EcoWiki-RS, learning ecological representation of satellite images from weak supervision with species observations and Wikipedia. Scientists use satellite imagery to characterize our planet in many different ways, from monitoring climates to tracking land use and mapping habitats. For certain applications, a simple view from above may be sufficient, but there are many details that satellites can't see that could still be helpful to know. For example, the species of plants and animals present at a location can provide rich information that goes well beyond what could be sensed remotely. Data about a region's flora and fauna exists in publicly available data sets. Incorporating this information with remote sensing data could allow AI models to have a more ecologically meaningful representation of our planet. To that end, in this paper, the authors combine high-resolution aerial images with corresponding geolocated species observations and text descriptions of their habitats. They use this dataset to fine-tune existing models that are based on satellite imagery alone, to show how this helps with ecological mapping. To construct this dataset, the authors first collect images at 50 centimeter resolution from SwissImage, a Swiss government-provided dataset of aerial imagery. They then collect geolocated species observations from the Global Biodiversity Information Facility, which aggregates data from government agencies, scientific surveys, and crowdsourced contributions to iNaturalist. Each aerial image, which represents 100 meters squared, is paired with a list of all species that have been observed within its range. In total, over 90,000 images across Switzerland are generated, and they are paired with nearly 3,000 different species. To allow existing AI models to benefit from the additional information these species observations provide, the authors pull text from relevant Wikipedia articles. Specifically, they take sentences from the sections of a given species Wikipedia article that describes its habitat or range, like this one describing where Arundodonyx can grow. As a result of this process, each image becomes associated with a list of sentences that hopefully provide more context about the physical features of the environment. The authors use this dataset of image-text pairs to fine-tune a variety of pre-trained vision language models. These models are based on CLIP, a vision language model introduced by OpenAI that is trained to align the representations of images and text and can predict the most relevant text given an image. This paper tries fine-tuning the standard CLIP model, which was trained primarily on object images and their associated captions, in addition to fine-tuning 3 specialized CLIP models that were designed to take in aerial imagery. For fine-tuning, these models are presented with an image which is run through their image encoder and a Wikipedia sentence which is run through their text encoder. The goal of the learning process is to make the outputs of these 2 encoders more similar when the Wikipedia sentence comes from a species that has been observed at the image location, and less similar when the sentence is unrelated. But when it comes to this specific dataset, there's a bit of a challenge. Usually, when training these vision language models, the sentences are direct captions of the images themselves. Here, however, each habitat sentence pulled from Wikipedia might be describing something about the specific image, but it might not. Therefore, the authors modify the training procedure slightly to account for the fact that their data is a little noisier. Specifically, during training, they weight different sentences differently, and that weight is determined by how similar the model thinks the sentence is to the image. This is a form of bootstrapping that is possible because these models have already been pre-trained on other text-image pairs, and it allows the model to basically ignore sentences that are obviously not good descriptions of the image. The authors call this form of training WINSL because it is a weighted version of the standard InfoNCE loss function. With this learning procedure in place, the authors train their model on the regions in blue and hold out the remaining regions for validation and testing. To test if this fine-tuning is helpful, the authors evaluate the models on zero-shot ecosystem mapping using ecosystem labels such as dry grasslands provided by the European Nature Information System. By inputting an image and text label for an ecosystem, the authors can identify which ecosystem label best aligns with the image. Here we can see that CLIP models fine-tuned on the EcoWiki-RS dataset consistently outperform the pre-trained CLIP models. And we can also see that the author's weighted loss function leads to improvement over standard training procedures. Interestingly, fine-tuning with the EcoWiki-RS dataset still does not work quite as well as directly training a model to perform this ecosystem labeling in a supervised way. This suggests that habitat information from Wikipedia provides some but not all of the context needed for ecosystem understanding. The authors also create maps by identifying regions where imagery shows high similarity to certain sentences. For example, when the authors pass the sentence, "It prefers warm and dry climate," into the pre-trained SkyClip model before fine-tuning, it does a poor job of matching actual temperature maps, as can be seen here where green pixels mean high similarity to the sentence. But After fine-tuning with habitat information, that sentence does show high similarity to regions that are warm and dry. The authors also explore the impact of using different parts of a species Wikipedia article when designing their training text. This includes using the species name, sentences that contain certain ecological keywords, or sentences chosen at random. Even though the random sentence dataset has significantly more sentences available as compared to just using habitat sentences, we see that habitat sentences give the highest performance. This highlights the importance of quality over quantity within this dataset. In total, this paper shows how diverse data sources can be creatively combined to provide more context for remote sensing data, and this can help when it comes to understanding and mapping diverse ecosystems. That's all for this episode. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more examples of how AI can be used to protect and understand our planet.